Yo, it's your boy Locos. And as much as I love talking about history, debating facts and logic, and stuff that are proven to be true, I also love a good conspiracy theory. And before YouTube decided they want to be our parents and try to dictate what we can and can't watch, I used to watch Alex Jones. I used to watch a whole bunch of conspiracy theory channels because they were interesting. And I'm always a fan of people being able to decide what's real or believable for themselves. I don't need social media companies. I don't need CEOs. I don't need people acting righteous, whether they be righteous or not, trying to dictate my life what I decide to watch. I'm a grown person. I have my own thoughts and feelings and beliefs, and I can parse out information to decide for myself what makes sense and not make sense. Not to mention a lot of these fact checkers are biased, and when you really get deep into the companies and the people doing this type of stuff, you really see they really don't care about the information being told in the honest way. They just care about control the narrative. So anybody trying to censor somebody or hold anybody back from any information you want to get to, I really don't support. But this new conspiracy theory involving direct energy weapons is something I'm not really aware of. I know about lizard men, I know about the Illuminati, I know a lot about different conspiracy theories that may or may not make sense. And if you know any more that you want to tell me about, put in the comments down below and I'll definitely check it out. And if you have a video for it, I'll react to it too. So I'm curious to see what Joe Rogan and his guests going to talk about, because we all know Joe Rogan loves conspiracy theories. Whether it be JFK, Bigfoot, aliens, it always stimulates the mind. So let's get into it.
Rogan experience.
Do you know the wacky conspiracy theory? And this is wacky about the South Pole. That the South Pole is some sort of a direct energy
Weapon?
That there's like some station down there that they've pretended is just for receiving, but it's actually for transmitting. I have no idea if any of this is nonsense. It's just fun. It's fun when people talk crazy. But this guy was on the Sean Ryan show, and he is a, air quotes, whistleblower.
I don't know about Sean Ryan. I think he might have been a guest on Joe Rogan before, but I haven't heard of his podcast. So if you watched it before, you know the video talking about it, definitely put in the link. Put a link down in the comments down below, and I appreciate it.
And he's explaining how he went down there and he read the operating manual for this device, and that this device caused the earthquakes in Christchurch, New Zealand. And I was like, what?
Nah.
Like, what is this?
So
It's so hard to know if you're just a comic in Austin. How the fuck do I
Right.
know what's going down on the South Pole?
I mean, like I said, whenever somebody's saying some wild shit to me, I start asking them, what other shit do you believe, so I can know how believable you are.
And what do they possibly gain out of you believing that same thing too? Because maybe it just be some BS, or they just want to play a trick on you, or maybe it's some type of pyramid scheme depending on the situation. Because sometimes a conspiracy theory and the pyramid scheme give that same, I don't know, aura or smell of BS to me. I can parse that pretty quickly, and they equally annoy me because you just playing with my intelligence. At a certain point, this doesn't make sense, and you know it doesn't make sense, but you're hoping I don't pick up on that, so I could believe and buy into the nonsense you're pushing. And when it's involving money and your livelihood, it's even worse.
Because if you believe, because you might be one of those people that just believes bullshit easily.
Hey, what he says? Give us some volume.
Opened every single door in the facility. I had complete access to every compartment they manufactured.
What are you blowing the whistle on?
That there are technologies at the South Pole Station that people can't even consider that exist on this planet. Directed energy weapon systems is something that people need to get in their vocabulary fast. The ice cube neutrino detector is not simply a passive listening device as presented for the science that they're claiming it to do. It also has the capacity to transmit. There are embedded in the ice what are called digital optical modules, DOMs. They're about the size of a basketball. The array embedded in the ice is 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer. It is the world's largest telescope, and now because we have proven that it can transmit, it's the world's largest directed energy weapons system. It is responsible for the earthquakes in Christchurch, New Zealand. I physically
Okay, when he says 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer, does he mean it's 1 kilometer high, it's 1 kilometer long, and 1 kilometer wide?
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
A whole kilometer into the ground.
Yeah, he could have just said a cube kilometer.
Well, it kind of, I mean, it's more impressive, I guess, just to think about it goes a kilometer into the ground.
that he's a former firefighter contractor.
For
according to
Raytheon,
this.
exposed the company's alleged ability to create earthquakes worldwide.
So would a firefighter have this amount of access to this type of thing? I don't know, have the knowledge about all these different systems, how they work, or what they really are made for compared to what the public knows? I really don't know. He could have access to these systems or these places or these rooms, I guess, in case there is some type of emergency. I guess when you're doing this type of energy, and that has a higher chance of causing explosions or failures or catastrophes, you have to have these people that are very skilled in these areas. And Raytheon is, credible company from my understanding that are involved with, I think, maybe weapon systems. I know they get government contracts. So I don't know if he actually had access to this stuff, but I feel like only a select few people would actually know this type of stuff, because if you have this type of technology or you have this type of contract and you have competitors, whether it be another company or other countries, you're not going to let this information leak. So I really don't know.
Linking to hidden directed energy weapon systems at South Pole Station. So what is this?
But how would how would a firefighter contractor have access to that?
I don't know how any of this is real. I have no idea. I don't know what his job was.
Yeah.
What's his name? Eric Hecker?
Yeah, I was trying to look him up.
I don't know, man. He had some nice patches on his jacket, though. Looked official.
Yeah. I mean, you full of shit until I see some proof. Because extraordinary claims like require extraordinary evidence. It's like you saying some wild shit. You got to at least show me something.
Yes, good point.
Yeah, because you were a firefighter contractor. I don't feel like you would have the keys to the secret death ray.
Well, I think what he was saying was that he was reading the documents of the owner's manual, and that's when he realized that it's capable of transmitting. I believe he says that in the show.
Yeah, but how would a firefighter have access to manuals and shit?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's crazy. And why he's still alive?
This is what the thing he's talking about is when I Google it. Antarctic muon and neutrino detector array is what it's called.
And it goes, let me see what it looks like.
Look, the neutrino detector is real.
Right.
But that's
the facility on top of it. And whoa, look what happens under the ground.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Well, but the reason it has to be so deep under the ground is so it's protected from like solar, from like extra shit. So they know when it gets hit that it was a neutrino.
Right.
So it's real. Like a lot of the stuff he said was real. But here's the thing we also know, Joe, is that the best place to hide a lie is between two truths. The best bullshit they say a lot of true shit and they sneak the bullshit in there.
Right.
It's like, oh yeah, the neutrino detector is this and this and this that.
Yeah.
And did you know it can make you gay?
Antarctic muon and neutrino detector array. The shield provided by looking for only upward going neutrinos that must have passed through Earth. Something no other known particle can do. Oh, wow. So it's through Earth.
Right. Neutrinos don't interact with matter almost at all. So that neutrino detector is way, 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 way down, and they're waiting to see like sparks of light, so they know that was a neutrino. Wow. But if they put it on the surface, I think they can't tell the difference between one that came, because they're pouring out of the sun.
Right.
So they're looking for ones that have passed through the Earth that have come from other places.
Wow.
So they know for sure. So every now and then, it's so unlikely that one will interact with matter that like it doesn't happen that often.
Isn't it crazy that they spent that much money to build that thing, to find that out?
Yeah. So and also that's the other thing. The thing this guy is saying, I don't even understand how that would work.
How could it be both things? Right? How could it be a detector and also a transmitter?
Yeah, because I think it's just a pool full of some special kind of water or some special kind of liquid that that it's enough where it makes a neutrino more likely to fucking hit a nucleus or something. But so I don't understand how that's gathering power that it can transmit. I don't know.
The thing about people like that, and I'm not saying this guy's not telling the truth, but I'm saying when I see stories about like someone talking about like some alien base that's underground and there's these aliens down there and one of them shot at me with a laser beam. If you were hiding some shit, like one of the best ways to make it seem ridiculous that you're hiding some shit is get some guy who's out of his fucking mind to go tell some wacky ass story.
Oh yeah.
Fill him full of lies. Tell him, yeah, you know, we started the earthquake in Christchurch, New Zealand. It was started with this thing, and then you tell him, yeah, it's actually a transmitter, and then you have the guy go tell, and now everybody's like, oh, that's kooky. The idea of doing that is kooky. Directed energy weapon is kooky. When meanwhile, it wasn't even that. They got a real one somewhere. So now they've discredited the whole idea of directed energy weapons.
Oh, yeah.
And they got some shit out in the desert in Nevada that's real.
The government loves conspiracy.
I mean, why wouldn't they? If I was running some top secret program like a directed energy weapon, I would have someone give them bad information, give them fake stories, and then have them go expose it. Yeah. Like have someone who's like most likely to blab, and then have that person give them this knucklehead story, and then he goes out and says it, and then everybody researches it.
You just tell Roseanne. You just tell, just tell Roseanne of the secret. Man.
Tell her right before she goes on stage. There's a direct energy weapon. Yeah, it's you know, it's one of those things, man. It's like I have no fucking idea what they're capable of doing.
See that right there? That's the red flag to me.
Just the bio on this website. This is a little red flaggy.
A self-educated research investigator. Fuck out of there. That's worse than homeschooling.
Okay, yeah, that is shake. I thought, well, he said he was a firefighter, so it's not like he can't be both. But yeah, if you're saying you're a self-educated research investigator, this tells him that you do this for a living, or you do this at least as like a hobby, bare minimum, and you have a reason that you could possibly make this stuff up. Doesn't mean he just straight out lying, but if he has like a book that's being released around the same time he doing press tours, or you see that he maybe has some type of background that makes you question what he's actually doing, the way he's actually saying, then I'm less likely to believe it. It's kind of like the whole, I think there was like alien bodies and other stuff that was released from Mexico government. But from my understanding, what I read in a few places and talking with one of my friends, the guy who actually released this information, I think it was a doctor or somebody similar to that, some type of scientist. He has like a history of doing hoaxes and stuff like this. So it's not really that credible. And I would just like to see more information on it. I saw there was like documents and like research and stuff like that. I'm just not sure how credible the person who's doing this stuff is. It could be, you know, like a false flag or red herring or something. Never can be too sure with the government.
That takes from his many odd life experiences and connects with others. Eric was raised on Long Island. Okay. Yep. Part of the Stargate project run by the CIA and the DIA.
As a child.
What? His childhood included being part of the Stargate project run by the CIA DIA. Later on, he had experiences in the submarine service. Following that, he became a plumber for some of the wealthiest people in the world back on Long Island. What? That's a weird turn of events. In 2010, Eric took a contract to work at the South Pole Station for a year. Oh, so he went from being an amazing plumber to being a firefighter in the South Pole. That's what he's saying?
This just seems very shady. I read it down to the bottom, and where it says now he is trying to help others see things that may not be as we were told, with all these exclamation points. I don't know, it just seemed like, of course I'm judging just off the little information I'm seeing in this clip, but it just seemed like something that's very, you know, gotcha, like an ad, like some BS you'll see like late at night on like a porn website, and they're talking about something. There's 200 girls in your area ready to smash. Like, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, who really believes that type of stuff? I don't know. It just seems like something I would see like on a late night infomercial. Like, it can help you too. Call now. Like, I don't know. It just seemed weird to me. And then it says he's starting to make connections about his life that it may not have been what he thought it was. So it seemed like he did this stuff after the fact. It's after the fact that he came up with this information or this story. Not seem like he, I don't know, saw it in the moment and then, like, you know, whistleblowing it. It seemed like he just coming out now to try to make a buck off of it. But I don't know. I could be wrong on this.
Yeah.
Okay, always the avid researcher. It was not until Eric began working remotely throughout the state of Alaska that he started making connections that his own life may not have been what he thought it was. Now he's trying to help others see that things may not be as we were told. 3 exclamation points.
Yeah. See, this is the thing.
3
man.
exclamation
That feels a
points.
little red flaggy, does it?
Yeah, that
Yep.
feels real
Okay.
word.
And then buy.
Okay, I'm glad not just me, because that shit seemed very scammy.
I mean, what the fuck
Oh
is
yeah, you can donate, support on Patreon, and
What-
shop his CBD products.
Yeah, what is a
Does he have an
self-educated
NFC?
research?
Well,
For real.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's like maybe he's telling the truth.
maybe. But it's like, would you trust a self-educated doctor?
But
Hell
if
no.
I wanted to obscure the truth, I would tell everything to a wacky dude.
Yeah, man. See, that's what's going to kill us. It's the death of truth. We
Yeah.
can't tell what's true.
Look, maybe that guy's honest. Maybe he's telling the absolute truth. And maybe it's so crazy that we think that he's a loon because the story sounds impossible.
I just want to touch on something he said. He said that's going to be our downfall. We won't be able to know what's true. I could make an argument at a certain point, more so even now because we have modern technology and all this information constantly coming to us. But throughout human history, you couldn't always know what was true. Oftentimes you had to disperse or figure out or comprehend what you're reading and decide for you what actually makes sense. I could just think about kings and emperors, sultans, all these different types of people who would change history and make propaganda for their own purposes. And it's up to us historians or people that love history to read it, decipher it, and come up with the actual reality. Because people have agendas. That's nothing new or different, if you ask me.
Story sounds impossible that they would hide some sort of a directed energy weapon in some beautiful project to try to detect neutrinos. Right? You would think that would be a really good way.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's
But
like,
could they do both things? We're too stupid.
Why would you have to hide anything in the South Pole? I mean, ain't nobody going down
Nobody's
there.
looking because that's a good place to do it.
That is true. Nobody's really looking down there. I mean, there was that conspiracy theory about, the Nazis and stuff, and I think it's not true. I haven't seen any evidence for it to be true. If you have some evidence or some video, I'll watch it just because it's interesting. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about this conspiracy theory. It seems pretty off to me. And the guy who's saying it sounds pretty shady. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. And if you have more resources or more videos like this you want me to check out, I'll definitely do it. It's your boy Logos. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace.